Community coffee time. Hey everybody, welcome to the first episode of Community Coffee Time. I'm so excited to be doing this, but definitely do not go live very often. So I'm a little nervous and it's a bit experimental, but I'm really excited to be here today and talk to you guys about using music to kind of in your daily self-care routines. So we are live on Zoom and Facebook right now. Facebook does have a 20-second delay. So I'm looking for comments, looking for questions, and happy to interact, but just kind of know I have the comments open, ready to go, but it could be a few seconds till I see it. But I'm happy to interact with you guys today. And if there's any issues with the live stream, this is also recording on Zoom and will be posted later on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook if there's any issues with the live stream. But fingers crossed, we can just kind of continue forward with today and today's topic. All right, so we're going to talk about using music for our mental health and self-care. And I just want to talk about how there's always an importance for mental health in our lives. It's an aspect of our lives to be aware of, kind of like we need to ongoing be taking care of our physical health, brushing your teeth every day. We should also be caring and nurturing our mental health every day for the long-term mental health. And with things going on in the world like pandemics and the truly heaviness of the news, watching violence and police brutality against Black communities, it can really make our mental health prone to mental illness, especially with these things compounded on each other. And then if there's anything in your personal life going on as well too, that can be another factor that can make us more prone to serious mental illness. So I want to talk about using music at home for anybody to promote this positive mental health and work it into our self-care routines. And then just another kind of thing to be clear about before we start, the things we're talking about today are not therapy and they do not replace therapy. So some things are more serious. So just kind of keep that in mind. Music therapy specifically is a clinical practice led by a board certified music therapist who has undergone the training. And in that relationship, through an assessment and treatment clinical process, music therapy works and targets very specific goals for the clients they're working with. So using music at home can maybe be therapeutic, but it's not music therapy. And it can definitely have positive effects in your daily life too. But just kind of know, and we'll talk more at the end too, it doesn't replace therapy. And if things are more serious, the things that we're talking about today are they would maybe put like a really weak band-aid on like a serious mental illness kind of situation. But yeah, with that said, we will dive into why music. And I have 4 ways you can use music at home to promote daily self-care and positive mental health. Just really quick, I'm gonna take a sip of my coffee because it's coffee time. I have a vanilla latte today. If anyone has shout outs of what you're drinking at home, I would love to know. All right, so why music? It's enjoyable, it's accessible. Everyone's going to experience music on some certain level. So it's accessible to every individual. It is reality oriented and helps you remain in the present, kind of keeps you grounded. You don't have to be good at music. I think that can hold people back sometimes, being like, oh, well, I'm not very good at it, but you don't have to, you could still receive the benefits of music therapy without, being this high trained classical musician. Everyone can receive benefits of music, and it can help you express yourself in ways that maybe you're having difficulty with words. It can help you process emotions related to mental health. And as we go through these 4 things that can help you guys, we'll discuss different literature and music therapy research literature that backs up the effectiveness of music as a positive vehicle for change when it comes to our mental health. All right, so without further ado, let's jump into the 4 things. With everything we talk about and experience today, we're going to, there'll be like research related, which is in the Facebook description. And then that will also be available later in other descriptions as well. So if you're interested in reading more about the research or interested in something we do today that I share, it will be available to you. Oh, and real quick, I forgot to talk about kind of the whole idea of community coffee time. So community coffee time, I really want to use these episodes to connect with the community, specifically the disability community in Colorado, but definitely with mental health. This is a topic that can apply to every single person. So if you're not from Colorado, you're still welcome 100%. And I'm happy to be talking with you guys today. But I'm looking forward to future episodes because I want to also interview other community providers and talk about relevant topics for families with disabilities, and then direct resources and takeaways that you guys can use for yourself and your families. And then talking to other community providers, hopefully we'll get some of those resources in today. So today's resources will be about music and mental health, and we'll dive right in. Number one, the first thing you can do at home to promote music or to promote positive mental health with music is to make music with others. So music has been found in several research to decrease symptoms of depression and anxiety when you're making music with other people. And this was seen and specifically in a study where group drumming was effective in decreasing the symptoms of depression and anxiety. So people were drumming with other people for a few weeks, and after the music therapy, the symptoms decreased, having those music experiences with other people. And especially during the pandemic when we're separated from people more, so this can be something that could really help mental health. So whether you're making music at home with your family, or maybe at a distance outside, or with friends and family online, make music together. Find a favorite song that your family likes, play along to a recorded song, either with instruments or found instruments at home. And it doesn't have to be perfect. Like I said, you're just expressing and creating this experience together. And if you're wondering about ideas for instruments you can have at home, I've made a bunch in these videos on my YouTube in various episodes of kind of instruments you can make at home. So I'll just show a couple of those today. So this is my rain stick. It's filled with rocks from outside, and it's just a paper towel roll and a toilet paper roll, and then covered with duct tape, and they're kind of sealed off by drink lids at the end. And so you can have a rain stick. There's all kinds of shakers you can make. So here's coins in a Parmesan container. So a lot of empty food containers, little things like beads, rice. You can make shakers at home as well too. And then a paper towel roll just on its own can kind of act as a boom whacker or a kind of stick for percussion. And you can drum on kitchen bowls. You can drum with, wooden spoons. You can get really creative if you don't own instruments at home to still make music together and play instruments together, whether or not you have actual drums or you can make the drums. And then that can kind of be something you can do together as a family as well. So that was number one. All right, I'm going to write down number two. So number two is to make a playlist of your favorite music. To make a playlist of your favorite music. And today I'll show you how to do that on YouTube or Spotify. And then there's other options as well if you have iTunes to make playlists or put favorite music together. You could put, a stack of CDs together. There's a lot of different options. So why playlists? Listening to music has been found in a lot of studies to decrease cortisol levels. Cortisol is a hormone involved with stress, and just the act of listening to music has decreased that in clients in music therapy studies. So I kind of have two thoughts when it comes to making a playlist. One, you could either, so here's number one. You could start with songs that match your mood. This could be if you're sad or mad, kind of songs that match that mood, and then move to happier songs. In music therapy, this is related to the ISO principle, where you kind of match and validate your client's moods before moving into a more desired mood. And the reason this is it can be cathartic, kind of like how crying can be cathartic when you're sad. Sometimes you just got to let it out. Sometimes you just got to feel and validate your emotions. And then you can move to the happier songs. The second approach to making a playlist would be a playlist of your favorite songs, maybe kind of high energy, just songs that make you feel good. And the reason for that is that the ISO principle doesn't work for everybody. Sometimes it can, because sometimes it can be like, if someone were just to tell you like, be happy, and you're not happy, you could maybe relate to that, where it's like, I'm not happy. And so like starting sad and moving to happy can work. But other times maybe you just need the positive music right away. So it's kind of exploring and figuring out what works best for yourself. And you could do that through exploring some of the playlists or talking to a professional. And the key to both of these approaches is to use your favorite music. Use your favorite music. Don't Google what is the most relaxing music. Like, you know what music you like, and there's been numerous music therapy studies found where preferred music is motivating, it's relaxing, it relieves pain, and it increases positive moods in clients, just from the songs that they really resonate with. And that's going to be different for everybody. So if you're watching live, if you have any favorite songs, go ahead and leave that in the comments. I'd love to know, and we can that can kind of be the start of making a playlist of your favorite songs. And while we maybe get some of those comments, I will show you guys real quick how to make a playlist on YouTube and how to make a playlist on Spotify. So I'm going to start with YouTube. Take me a second. All right, so we're going to YouTube. I'm going to use Sweet Caroline just kind of as a default song today. It's one of my favorite songs. I think it's a jam. So we just gotta wait on my computer. There we go. All right, so YouTube. So you start on YouTube, and you can search a song you like. Any song will do. And my computer's still kind of loading. Here we go. Starting to pop up. So when you have that song, you can scroll over it here, and there are dots, and this will be under videos as well. Click the dots, and you click Save to Playlist. And then you can create a new playlist. And you could put, let me move my microphone. You could put like self-care. And then you can make the choice of making this public or private or unlisted. And unlisted means only people with the link get it. So if you don't want people to see what music you're listening to, you can create a private playlist. It's added to self-care. There you go. And then it creates a playlist in your account, and you can keep adding songs to it. Let me actually go and get to it. So on your channel, it will show all your playlists, even if they're private, or maybe not. No, it shows the public ones, sorry. So I need to go into YouTube Studio. Oh, Queenie just walked into the room. My cat might make an appearance. Time will tell. All right, so if you go to YouTube Studio, then you click on Playlist on the left. Then it will show you your playlists, and you can click on it. And then if you add more videos, there'll be more videos on the side, and then you can kind of play through them. So YouTube's available to everybody at free accounts with ads. And then if you didn't want ads, you could go into all that too. and then you can shuffle through it or watch it in order of your favorite songs. So let's see, I'm gonna stop this share. Here's Queenie. And get us to Spotify. Let's see, here we go. And we had a comment. Matthew said he tends to listen to ambient environmental music for relaxation, music which has a textural focus rather than melody, rhythm, etc. Hello, thanks for commenting. Yes, that music can be really relaxing too, and we'll actually talk about that in a little bit too. So Spotify is similar. Oh, still have me on my cat angle. Spotify is similar where you search the song you want and then you click the dots. My computer is super slow. But at least we got Queenie to tell us how we can use music. So this will post on Facebook, but I'm thinking for YouTube, I might edit out some of this time. My computer takes forever. But you click on the dots. It says more. And it will give you an option to add it to a playlist. Or you could also just click new playlist over here. Oh, here we go. Add to playlist. And then you could put new playlist. And it's taking a while, but I'll show the window where you can put the title, description, and then you can add more songs to that playlist. Oh, it made its own playlist over here. Interesting. And then you could like edit this, and again, you can make it private, public, shuffle through it, etc. And there's free versions of Spotify as well as upgraded ones without ads. So there you go. And then you could edit it, add more songs down here that are related, that kind of stuff. Sweet. All right. So let me get my notes back over. Thanks for your patience with my my computer, who did not like me searching Spotify there and streaming at the same time. So that's number 2, making those playlists. So number 3 is dancing to preferred music. So this kind of goes along with making playlists and the preferred music stuff we talked about earlier, where you want to use music that you really resonate with, that really makes you happy. You don't want to just dance to something you think you should dance to necessarily. So dancing can be very beneficial, especially if you process things more kinesthetically. So it could be something to consider to add to your self-care routine. And one study that is shared in the description talks about how if you move like an emotion, so they were told in the study to move joyfully, and it activated that part of the brain and made it more accessible. So that's an idea with dancing, is to kind of embody the emotion that you want. So kind of the opposite of the ISO principle. So that's why you have to find what really works best for yourself. And you can use that to kind of activate that emotional processing of your brain and move into that more desired state. And I also have linked a TED Talk about striking power poses to help feel confident, because I feel like it's that same idea of using your body to try to move towards a desired emotion. And then we know exercise is beneficial for mental health. So dancing could be a form of exercise, or you can kind of use music that you would dance to as maybe a way to motivate you in your exercise. Make a playlist of like a beat you can run to kind of help motivate that exercising as well. So let me sip my coffee. And again, this can be done with other people to kind of make music with other people, or you could do it on your own to let off some steam. And I would just highly recommend, again, using your favorite music, use your preferred music, and really just dance to it. And especially if you're alone, you can kind of just go crazy and move your body around, and it's going to activate that emotional processing in your brain. All right, so that moves us to our last topic of today, which is guided meditation. So I feel like I've talked a lot about kind of high energy ways to use music at home, making music with people. A playlist could be high or low depending on the songs you pick. Dancing is going to be probably more high unless you want to kind of do the ISO principle, dance a little to like a slow, sadder song and kind of move to that desired emotion. So guided meditation is really one that kind of lowers our arousal level if you're hyper aroused energetically and brings it down. So with guided meditation, progressive muscle relaxation and guided imagery have been discussed about in different studies to decrease anxiety symptoms. And progressive muscle relaxation is when you're doing a meditation and you're told to like squeeze and release through different parts of your body. And guided imagery is when you're doing a meditation and told to imagine the beach or a happy place if you've done any kind of guided meditations that way. So this is not exclusively music related. There's plenty of guided meditations without music. In fact, I linked some self-compassion exercise meditations in the links that I've used that I've really enjoyed that don't always have music. So it's not always music related, but music can enhance the listening experience. And from other studies, we know that listening to music has decreased symptoms of stress. So we can use that music to enhance these guided imagery and meditation experiences, or to even cue different movements that are relaxing. So with that said, I actually have a guided meditation that I made with some music I composed. So I'm going to share that and we can follow along with that today. Get back to my browser. And then I need to make sure I share the sound. And just apologies, and if this is a very quiet recording, so this might sound better with headphones, but if you can't hear it,
Thank you for
maybe
taking
watch
a
it
few
later.
minutes to take care of yourself and
going.
slow down today. If possible, find a comfortable seat. As you get comfy and settled, close your eyes if you'd like to. This is your time. Begin to take notice to your breath. Breathing in and out. Your mind may wander, but that's okay. Acknowledge your thoughts non-judgmentally and return to your breath. Breathing in and out. Slowly begin to deepen your breath. As you take a breath in, become aware of your stomach expanding as you inhale fully. And slowly breathe out from your nose or mouth, feeling the air move through your lungs. This is a moment to be fully present and slow down. As you continue breathing deeply, begin to give awareness to your feet. Feel how the ground is fully supporting you, and imagine the ground rising up to meet your feet. You are fully supported. Now, slowly bring your awareness up your body, from your feet to your legs, and up your torso. you have any wandering thoughts, that's okay. Come back to your breath and slowly breathe in and breathe out. Now move your attention from your torso up to your arms and chest, relaxing any tension you may feel as you bring awareness to these different parts of your body. When ready, continue the journey and bring awareness up to your neck and up through your head. Again, relaxing any tension you may notice that you are holding on to. Let it go. Breathe in and breathe out. Take a few more moments for yourself here. Give yourself gratitude and acknowledge yourself for taking this time for you today to be with yourself and tend to your mental wellness. At your own pace, start to return to breathing at a normal speed. If you'd like to, begin to wiggle your fingers and your toes. Take one more deep, conscious breath in before returning to your day, knowing that this deep breathing is here for you whenever you need it. As you exhale, slowly open your eyes.
All right. So I first want to just apologize because I definitely threw myself into that without kind of my music therapy self was like, you should have did more prep time at the beginning to let people know we're gonna do that. But I'm glad that this is recorded because you can go back to this recording on YouTube. I'll put a timestamp. So if you just wanted to do that on your own, that is now an available resource to go back and do. And just take those kind of 5 moments to yourself to really breathe. So that was an example of music with progressive muscle relaxation a little bit, just kind of more body scanning actually, but just kind of nice and a nice way to kind of relax and use that music that way. So if you were to use some of the self-care stuff in the description, the self-compassion meditations by somebody else, and you wanted to pair music with that, you can go to Spotify, and there's a lot of ambient music playlists that even Spotify makes. And then also you could search guided meditation music, and I found some earlier. So you could pair that with a meditation or even just listen to the music and do some deep breathing. And there's a lot of different options to do that, to use that music mindfully. So we have some comments. Matthew said he found the ISO principle particularly useful with people living with dementia. Yes, and I haven't personally worked with people with dementia, but there's been so many studies shown that the ISO principle works very well because they'll be very agitated, very stressed out and disoriented. So if you can kind of meet them more in that state instead of all right, we're gonna sing a happy song, because you have to meet them where they're at and find kind of where they're at so that you can bring them to a happier place instead of kind of confusing the situation more. And so we can mirror that with our own mental health practices if that works for you as an individual. Maybe you don't want to force yourself to be happy right away, and so you can find that music to kind of match those moods. Or maybe this was relaxing, but maybe you're really anxious, high energy. Maybe you need to do a little dance to something real fast first and then move into something like a guided meditation in your daily self-care practices. So awesome. Thank you all for joining me today. We're going to start kind of summarizing things and concluding today's first episode. So real quick, here's the list of the 4 ways that you can use music at home for your daily self-care. Make music with others. Make a playlist with your favorite music. Dance to your favorite preferred music. And use music along with guided meditations for relaxation exercises to decrease symptoms of anxiety and symptoms of depression. So, with that said, these are kind of daily coping skills for kind of long-term mental health self-care. So sometimes you do need more than coping tactics, and the issues are going to be more serious. And in those situations, I just want to let you know it's okay to ask for help. And I'm actually going to share my screen real quick. So this is from the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. And it's a bunch of national crisis line and resources for various things related to mental health and mental illness. And, you know, if music's particularly motivating, but there's a bigger issue, maybe consider finding a music therapist for you or your loved one. But in general, if your mental illness is more serious than the daily coping mechanisms, please reach out for help. Um, you know, therapy is not a bad thing at all. Talking to people is not a bad thing at all. And it's 100% okay. So these resources are here for you or here for others if you need it. And I hope that what we talked about today can help with your mental health and self-care, especially during these challenging times. But just kind of keep an eye on yourself, be kind to yourself, and know that these are more like day-to-day, kind of long-term, but it doesn't replace therapy. Kind of like stretching is good and can do a lot for you physically, health wise. But if you need a physical therapist, if an issue's serious enough, you need a physical therapist. So whether you need a music therapist or a more traditional therapist, just know that sometimes these things aren't enough, but hopefully they can be something that can help health in the long run too. So just wanted to get that out there. All right. Well, thank you all for joining me today. You know, this is really different for me going live, but I really enjoyed sharing some of these resources and research information with you all, and hope that you can use these things as a daily self-care for you and your family, and kind of coping mechanisms, and just promote that positive mental health. If you have any questions, feel free to comment on the Facebook video, or you can email me at bonnie@rhythmicrootsmusictherapy.org, which is also in the description with all the other resources I've discussed today too. And I will hopefully get this on YouTube and Instagram soon too. And for episode 2, I'm really hoping to interview somebody in the community, but also have an experiential kind of thing and take away resources. And it'll be kind of interesting to see how the show kind of evolves. But I'm excited to share resources with you, whether they're music related or not, that are going to help you in your life. So awesome. Thank you all for watching. And I hope you guys have a great day. And I will see you on the next Community Coffee Time.